I had some MCU talk.
Yeah, most convoluted universe.
So, and I'm glad you said that.
Don't ask me to spell that word.
Spell it. No, I'm glad you said that though, because now we might be seeing a proper MCU with more of the things as fans we wanted to see, especially with the acquisition of Fox, which we see. You know,
Yeah, I will say that was. He looked great.
he being Beast
Yes.
in the
Marvel's post-credit scene.
Post-credit scene for the Marvels.
The Marvels.
All right, so that movie in itself, you haven't watched the entirety. I'm gonna tell you, it was actually one of the better recent Marvel movies to come out. Believe it or not.
Hot take. I mean, he gave me behind the scenes. I want to watch it more than I did before he gave me his reasonings. I'll just say that. So,
well, I real quick brush down them. They brought in.
Who are we brushing down?
The movie.
Oh, okay, that's fine. It's a bunch of women. Tickle me fancy, huh? Right, in it.
Yeah. All right.
Get back on the rails. The ADHD train came and it comes and it goes.
All right. So, firstly, they brought in a TV series character into a big production, and it worked out well. They fleshed it out. Had you not seen the show, you still can go forward with this movie and understand what's happening.
I've seen the same. I've seen the end of the show that led into the movie, so I understand like that part. And I've seen bits and pieces. My wife watched it,
but even if you hadn't, you'd still be able to keep up just fine with just the movie alone.
All right,
they did that excellent. They fleshed out her character better. They intertwined the Marvels as themselves because of the differences in their powers, but how they connect was done very well. Brought back Nick Fury, even better.
Seeing a scene with him, that's one of the scenes I watched.
Side note, Kamala Khan's family is gold. All right, so apparently coffee break.
I mean, it's always coffee o'clock. Yeah.
Anyway,
wasn't thinking.
Monica Rambeau. Now, if you saw the first Captain America and liked it, hopefully you like this one too. You might not even want to watch this.
Hold on, Captain Marvel, not Captain America.
Yeah, Captain Marvel. That's right. Yeah, Captain is fucking Marvel and all these.
Who knows what's gonna come?
All these names, whatever. You know what I mean.
Captain Marvel could be Captain America. You never know.
I'm not even going to touch that right now. I'm not even going to touch that right now because anyway, yes. All right, so
that fucking train, man. I'm telling you.
Just for if you don't know, you're a Marvel layman. Monica Rambeau actually had Captain Marvel's powers. Had Captain Marvel's powers in the comic books before Carol Danvers, who is the current Captain Marvel in the MCU.
Sorry. At least it's not the white man this time. It's the white woman that stole.
Well, the white man is actually essentially the proper owner of the powers. And can bestow them upon people. Long story anyway. But Monica Rambeau in the comics had the powers. It also went as other names. Photon being what she became in the WandaVision series when she passed through. She didn't get her powers like that in the comics, but nonetheless.
They don't name her like that though. So that's a cool name. I didn't know that.
So Photon's her name, and that's who she is / not before this movie. And they don't specifically say it, but they do call mention to Spectrum in this movie. When Kamala Khan's trying to figure out what her code name is going to be. You know, trying to help her figure it out. Which Spectrum is who she is after not being Captain Marvel. So that they fleshed her into being Spectrum, having her powers become more developed and mature during this movie. It was all done very well. Cutscene, she ends up in another timeline or a different universe, which is where we see her in the lab at presumably the academy where Beast, played by Kelsey Grammer in the cutscene. Perfect.
Awesome. That's good.
And it looked good compared to that BS we got.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
In First Class.
Give you that.
Fuck that movie. Scorn me for even saying that name.
It's like Voldemort around these parts.
And you said.
I'm allowed to say I'm a powerful wizard for another time.
A wizard, you say?
Yo, wizard, Nicholas.
As long as it's not... Never mind, I'm not going to go there.
I don't even know, but I'm going to go with it.
As long as you don't put grand in front of that.
No.
Anyway.
Anyways.
All right, so she's in a universe where X-Men exist already.
Yeah, you get a look at the door that leads typically to what, Cerebrum? Is that her name? I guess those doors, Cerebral. Those doors are everywhere.
In that part of the, below the mansion, yes.
They're at the academy, clearly.
So, that being the case, this is clearly leading to a mesh of timelines / people and things of that nature. I can't see them bringing Kelsey Grammer's into that cutscene and then bringing the X-Men in and at least not having them be some integral part of that existence once we bring them in. Because as it stands, the current MCU main timeline does not have the X-Men.
So,
even though we presume they do exist, partly She-Hulk made that reference with the man with claws having a bar fight. We do know who that is.
More X-Men confirmed from that timeline. I guess you didn't see that. It just came out last week. The original Pyro from the X-Men series is in Deadpool.
Right, so but it's not the same timeline.
No, but it's...
Not yet. So
you don't...
Where we see Pyro in that clip from Deadpool is in a universe...
Oh, I didn't know there was a clip. I just read something.
The trailer. It's in the trailer.
I didn't know.
Yeah, he's in the trailer.
Oh.
That's why they're talking about it. He's in the trailer. But where we see him in that trailer is outside of Deadpool's timeline.
Well, yeah, that's why he's gonna link all this.
That place is actually a place out of Loki, the show.
Okay.
It's this in-between world, essentially, where shit that gets pruned by the TVA from different timelines that either not supposed to be there, causing issues, whatever the case, pretty much gets thrown there into this essential wasteland. That's where a lot of the scenes we see in the Deadpool trailer are taking place, in this wasteland.
Okay.
So Pyro's there.
Okay, sorry. Back to your original thought.
So all the things that Deadpool's going to do in this next Deadpool movie, along with Wolverine, is likely going to be the beginning of a reboot to the MCU universe.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, something we spoke about off camera when I mentioned the potential of Galactus becoming or being, even though he's not been noted yet that I can recall, the actual big bad for this phase, or maybe bridging this phase with the next phase, however long they do it, if they want to do it to where it's not just convoluted and ultimately BS. Galactus would be the one because he will end up being the cause of the MCU universe being obliterated and coming back to reality.
Okay. I was thinking, isn't there a Deadpool kills the MCU thing? Not the MCU, but isn't there like a Deadpool kills comic series?
Yes.
Because there's
one of those for a couple of different characters. Deadpool is one of them.
So, to bring us back around, what you're telling me is I need to watch this fucking movie? Because this movie is going to be the part of what's going to ideally rebuild our love for the MCU, because we all expect Deadpool and Wolverine and Fantastic Four to be the things that are going to...
I still think you should watch the movie just because it's actually a pretty good movie.
Make me feel short.
I mean, just because it's actually a good movie.
But
now that scene, that credit scene, is really what ties it. So without the movie, you get the idea of the direction of tying them.
There's enough in the movie though to where you can't. Now people here are gonna hear that and they're gonna run and watch that credit scene. But like, there's enough substance and proper like character build for these characters that you think will be a crucial part going forward that warrants the watching of the full movie.
Yes. Primarily because of these characters and them just being developed in these characters. They fixed Captain Marvel, in my opinion. Apologize for any audio.
Technical issues. I was just clearing my throat real quick.
Yeah.
We went to. Sorry, I don't even know.
So,
but anyways,
I believe this movie, they also fixed parts of Captain Marvel that were not right as the character itself and developed her
which
more.
Captain Marvel?
Carol Danvers.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. From the first movie to this movie,
All right.
they did so much better. One of the reasons why the first movie was disliked by many, myself included, was because it was clearly this campaign for a social cue at the time that was large conversation that has nothing to do with the movie or Marvel's. Now, granted, Marvel's has always been kind of this civil rights, bring a light onto things type of platform from its inception, if you know anything about the original comics.
Oh.
But they really pushed it in that first Captain Marvel movie.
It's only an hour and 45 minutes, so update on that. Not that bad. I was like, is this movie gonna be 2 hours and
That's
50
the other
minutes?
thing. It wasn't drawn out. There was one scene where it kind of changes the pace for a moment of the movie because of the way it is. There's this colony they go to, or this planet they go to, where their language, the way they speak, is through song.
When was
But it was actually pretty entertaining.
When was the last time? Now I remember. I just saw something when I was looking up the runtime. When did we see the beeper thing? They just showed that. Remember when they called her? Was that recently in a cutscene? What movie was that?
There wasn't. Well,
or was that the original call to her before the first movie
that was
that they just showed?
That Nick Fury had. He hit it right before he got taken away after the
from
blip.
The snap.
Yeah, from the snap.
Okay, so that was
cutscene.
They just started showing it again. So a while back. So this is wrapping up from a hot minute because she's been in space.
Yeah,
like we've the a lot of the context is like where the hell's she been? Which you said this movie
is after the blip. So
this explains where she was not helping everyone else because I thought everyone was saying that. I was like, why the hell?
She mentions it. She's like, you're not the only people who need your help. Like they did very well with hitting the points that needed to be hit surrounding this character, surrounding the use. One of the reasons why they hadn't used her more back then in the other parts, well, for one, she's a super OP character. The Captain Marvel powers are OP as hell, so it would have been an unbalance to those battles back in those movies, dealing with the whole Thanos and everything.
Yeah.
That's why we didn't see her again until Endgame, the second half, when they actually fix everything with the second and third snap.
Okay.
But part of why we didn't see her before that also, because she wasn't snapped, was the issues around the actress and all the stuff that she had going on outside of filming.
I guess I've missed a decent amount of recent MCU stuff, but excuse me, I've like filled in little by little, but
also
it seems
they're officially taking steps on making the Young Avengers with this movie.
Oh yeah, that's there's something out there about that. They've already named who I believe the 4 or 5.
So they got Hawkeye's daughter, they got Kamala Khan. I don't know how they're going to do Iron Man yet. But he has
rumors,
a daughter,
and then there's rumors of the little kid. I think there's still talk of the kid from Iron Man 2 that's like out in Kentucky or whatever.
There's that, but he also has a daughter, so she can easily take that mantle.
That's interesting. That's a different MCU talk.
Because in the comics, it's kind of weird how that Iron Man character gets filled, the Young Avengers Iron Man character. Not going to go into that right now.
Yeah.
But in this, she does the throwback style of recruiting people into the Avengers that Nick Fury did in the original movies, Kamala Khan does that
Man.
for Hawkeye's daughter at the end of this movie.
Oh, okay. Nice. Right on.
Yeah. So now we're bringing another TV series character into the fold. We just had Echo come out, which aired on Hulu. Very good series, actually.
Yeah.
Very good series.
6 episodes? 7 episodes?
6 or 8. I think it's 6. 6 or 7. Somewhere between 6 and 8.
Another.
So even though she's technically not young, I think she's young enough to fit in there if they decide to bring her in.
I believe she's one of them. So
and
why she got the show.
Real quick, side note. Can we give a round of applause for Vincent D'Onofrio, please? He is fucking amazing.
Oh, he's great as Kingpin. I didn't even watch Echo yet, but I already know anything with him as Kingpin. Okay, let's get back onto the Marvel's airplane here.
He was in the Netflix series Daredevil before he came into Echo.
Yes. Yeah, and then he's also at the end of...
And Daredevil's in the Echo.
Yes, yeah, that was in the first episode or something, and that's it. Yes.
For a brief moment is in Echo. They did so good with that.
They're doing good bringing that in. We just got to see how the shows play out in that, but that's for another day, another story, another dollar. That being said, your last final thought push to convince people that haven't watched it, because I know a lot of people have pushed away the Marvels, myself included. You convinced me. You got one. I'll sign your petition, okay? Just don't call my number. It's not going to be the real number. Get some other people on your team. Sell the Marvels here. One last quick thought.
If you were a fan of the MCU series of movies up until maybe 5 movies ago, this movie is the start of getting you back into what we knew as the MCU and what we experienced when watching those movies.
Damn. I mean, you heard the man. Guess we gotta go watch it now.
Whatever you do, don't watch Madam Web. Fuck that movie.